A second. A man's hand hovered for a second above the large red button, the pressing of which initiates a process that would launch a nuclear missile, and therefore begin a nuclear war. It is highly probable that it would annihilate nearly all of humanity, perhaps even Earth itself. For a few moments, this extremely ambitious and prideful man reflected on the consequences that could follow from the mere pressing of this bright scarlet button, scarlet like human blood. A second. What would truly happen if he actually pressed it, not in thought, but in reality? But is this not exactly why all human bombs, mines, and missiles are created, to explode? Does it really matter how, when, or where it happens? If man created it, then without a doubt he will use it, there's no question. So then, does this mean the purpose of man is to kill another man, if that is his nature? An order. The homeland, through its authorized representatives, commands me to destroy half of Earth's population, but is it truly the homeland calling me to this, or specific individuals? One cannot insult the homeland, for it is an ethereal and ephemeral notion signifying nothing, yet people can be insulted. Nuclear bombs are not created by the will of peasants, bankers, or merchants, but by the whim of more vain and ambitious men, allegedly for the protection of the former. A rational man, who desires nothing more than peace and well-being throughout the life allotted to him by the Almighty, has no enemies, nothing to divide with others, and if disagreements arise, he resolves them through dialogue, treaties, and agreements. He lives not for profit and gain, but for creation, for he is the earthly likeness of his heavenly Creator. But on the other hand, if all this occurs, then God permits it, for our world is not governed solely by light and day, it is composed equally of night and shadow. Destruction and chaos are just as necessary as creation and harmony. If the shell of an egg never broke, we'd never see a single chick. Thus, destruction and creation are foundational principles instilled by nature itself. Just as this world contains creation and destruction, tides and ebbs, light and shadow, day and night, so too does it contain both aggressive and peace-loving states. There is no equality among men, and therefore none among nations. One will always wish to take from another what it possesses. In human terms, this is called theft, blatant plundering, and to avoid such outcomes, some, more intellectually capable, yet physically weaker, decided to invent effective means of defense and deterrence. But is nuclear weaponry truly a sufficient guarantee of state security? If incompetence come to power, it becomes an even greater threat to the very essence of that state. There is nothing more terrifying than a madman with a weapon of global destruction. A second. The press of a button could entirely alter the history of this planet, perhaps even erase it. Yes, we are all mortal and will sooner or later hear the breath of fate beside us, yet how bitter it is to perish because of the ambition and vanity of a few deranged men. It is they who placed such an order before me. They play politics for amusement, but I would bear all the guilt for the extermination of hundreds of millions, entertainment for them, safe in their bunkers, but eternal torment for me, who pressed the fateful button. But is the issue truly the nuclear weapon? If it had never existed, the button would launch chemical or biological arms. What difference would it make? The issue is not the weapon's type, but man's very nature. He constantly seeks war, usually not with his own hands but by provoking others like himself, and then, like a spectator, enjoys the spectacle he himself has produced, and thus I understand that the most terrifying weapon in our world is man himself. For if you control man, you control all weapons he has made, and those he might make. A second. This world is not so simple, it is immensely complex, containing a specific architecture. For some states, disarmament equals disappearance, and thus, in today's reality, disarmament is not a solution. So where is salvation? When humanity ceases dividing itself by race, religion, gender, and other attributes, it will be closer than ever to the truth, for it is not form that defines being, but essence. When we become a single stream, ripened and metaphysically enlightened, we will realize that there is nothing to divide, for we all come from the same source of life and shall return to the same source of death. A second. It is within my power to destroy millions of lives, to become a hero to some, a criminal to others, but who would I be to myself? Who would I be before the Almighty? Who am I? That alone determines whether I press the button or not, that is the depth of my possible action or inaction. Could I truly be mad enough to, in a second, press this button and destroy what has been created over centuries and millennia? Who am I to make such global, universal decisions? My life, like every life on earth, is unique. Who am I to take from others what I did not give? That which generations have built, Colosseum, Great Wall, Pantheon, Machu Picchu, Sydney Opera House, who am I to destroy it all? Millions have labored to create, so that I, an otherwise unremarkable man, might destroy it all in 1 second, with one press, erasing the physical and metaphysical achievements of civilization. And the greatest paradox is that it's all allegedly done for the sake of civilization, humanity, nations and governments. No sane person on this planet supports war, no matter the ideological mask it wears. Our consciousness was given for creation, not destruction. The human instinct calls us to reproduce, not to reduce. Do languages no longer exist, that people have forgotten how to speak and agree, to compromise, instead of needlessly sacrificing countless lives, or perhaps even all of civilization itself? A second. What will happen if I do press this button? A vast portion of Earth's population will perish, much that was made by human hands will collapse, but not all. Much will remain, people, structures. Over a few scraps of land, the governments of this world are trying to pit us, Earth's people, against each other as enemies. Is the planet not vast enough to hold all ideas, opinions, feelings, and thoughts? Why must one view seek to enslave another and dominate? Hundreds of natural disasters happen and yet Earth holds firm, so how is a nuclear strike better or worse? Governments believe they will not destroy Earth, but merely cleanse it. What do I believe? I have children and a family myself. This world has rotted, materialism reigns, and nowhere can the truly metaphysical be found. Is there another script for us? Can we rewrite the one we follow, nuclear war? We have earned it. We, humanity, have steadily and deliberately moved toward it, without making a single mistake in that direction. It was not God or the devil who made the world and society as it is, it was us. We are now our own judges. It matters not who strikes first, for others will follow. But even without nuclear arms, are there not already enough threats to mankind, natural and environmental? If man was wise enough to create the bomb, can he not also find the wisdom to destroy it before it destroys him? A second. How much depends on it, life or death of the entire world?